Hello children, let's start with another topic, that is microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis. I had taught you about the events of fertilization. There were three events, if you remember. Those were pre-fertilization event, fertilization event, and post-fertilization event. So in right now we are studying about pre-fertilization event. Previously we read about uh, the megaspores and microspores, okay, or say microsporangium and megasporangium. Similarly, now the first stage of pre-reproductive event is what? Gametogenesis. Now what do you mean by gametogenesis? What is gametogenesis? Firstly, we should be knowing about gametogenesis. Gametogenesis. What is gametogenesis? If you see here, gametogenesis means from the word, always remember in biology basically the words only depict the definition. So here gametogenesis means gamete and genesis means bringing on life or giving birth. Okay, so it clearly depicts that gametes are formed during this process. So what is gametogenesis? The formation or the process in which the gametes are formed. That is gametogenesis. You know very well, in sexual reproduction there are two kinds of gametes. One gamete is male gamete. Okay, and the second is female gamete. So same thing we are going to study here. We are talking about the formation of male gamete and we are here talking about the formation of a female gamete. If we talk about male gamete formation, that is microsporogenesis. From the name you can get it, microspore ka banna, or say the formation of a microspore. That is microsporogenesis. Similarly here, if we talk about megasporogenesis, then the formation of a megaspore. What is a megaspore? Previously we read about megaspore. Megaspore comprises of a female gamete. Okay, and microspore comprise of a male gamete. Okay, this is what? This, if you remember, this is the structure of a microsporangium. This is a microsporangium, or you can also call it anther. Anther. Thus, it comprises of what? Microsporangium is also called as anther. What does it forms? It forms pollen grains. Pollen grains, right? Okay, now how pollen grains are formed? If you remember in the previous video, I had told you about that a young anther or young microsporangium comprises of sporogenous tissue, and you all know that a tissue is what? It is a group of cells performing similar function, right? Now in sporogenous tissue there are particular cells. You call them what? MMC. Now what is MMC? Let's see here. If we see inside a what do you say, lobe, these are lobes. I told you it is diathecous. Each theca comprises of two lobes. Okay, so here if we see, what is this? This is a lobe. It comprises of one cell. Now if we see here, this is what? This is MMC. Now what is MMC? Megaspore, sorry, microspore mother cell. What we are going to form? We are going to form a microspore. So thus it is a microspore mother cell. And lately, as you all know, in previous chapters or say previous class, I had taught you about that mitosis is what? Mitosis or say cell division. If I talk about the cell division, how many types of cell divisions are there? Mitosis, meiosis. What is mitosis? Mitosis, it is a kind of a division which leads to growth. Okay, and what is meiosis? Meiosis, it is a kind of a reductional division which leads to the formation of gametes. Okay, so what is happening here? Over here, gametes are formed or gametes are forming. So which division will occur here? That is meiosis. In mitosis, one cell leads to two cells, daughter cells, whereas in meiosis, one cell leads to four daughter cells. Let's see how it happens. Okay, so see here, this is what? MMC, microspore mother cell. It undergoes what? Meiosis 1. It undergoes meiosis 1. As you all know that meiosis comprises of two stages, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So if we can say here, this is single microspore mother cell which leads to the formation of two cells. What is this? This is called as dyad. From the name you can get it. Di means two. So dyad. And similarly meiosis 2 leads to the formation of four cells. That is tetrad. So easy it is. If we can say here, this is microspore mother cell leads to the meiosis 1 leads to the formation of two cells and meiosis 2 leads to the formation of four cells. That is tetrad. That's it. So this is what? This is microsporogenesis. That's it. Okay children, let's come here to megasporogenesis. Megasporogenesis means formation of megaspore. As we discussed here, that gamete giving birth, from the name you can get it, the formation of megaspore. You all remember megaspore comprised of a female gamete. Here, what are these? ये four है क्या वैसे? These are microspores. And what are microspores? Or pollen grains. These are pollen grains. Okay children. Okay, so lately now if you remember this diagram, this is an anatropous ovule or a microsporangium. Remember, these were outer integuments and this one was inner integument. If you remember, this was embryo sac, this was chalcal end, and this was micropilar end. Okay, so this is all. What is this? This is ovule. What is ovule? It is also called as megasporangium. Done children. Okay, up inside the ovule or megasporangium, what is present? That is embryo sac. Now this is a young embryo sac. It is having nothing inside it except one cell. What is that one cell? That is this. If you can see here, this is the diagram of inside the ovule. This is the layer called as nucellus. यहाँ पे if you see this layer, this is what? This is nucellus. I told you what is the function of nucellus. Nucellus function is to provide nourishment to the growing embryo sac. Similarly here, this is what? This is nucellus. Okay, and this is what? Embryo sac. Okay, and what is this? This is MMC. What is MMC? Same over there. It was what? Microspore mother cell. Similarly here, it will be megaspore mother cell. Okay, this is megaspore mother cell. Similarly here we are also forming the gamete. So which division will take place? Obviously meiosis 1, and here also meiosis 2. Okay, same case will occur here also. Like over there, MMC will give rise to two cells which you call as dyad, and meiosis 2 give rise to four cells or four megaspores, that is tetrad. Same. Okay, these are what? All are megaspore. Okay children, there is one characteristic feature of megasporogenesis, that out of 4 megaspores, the 3 gets degenerated. Degenerated means they get vanish or disappear. Degenerate. Okay, whereas only one gets functional. Only one gets functional. That is why such kind of a development is also called as what? Monosporic development. You call it monosporic development. Why you call it monosporic development? Because only one spore is, or only one megaspore is functional to give rise for the embryo sac. Now what happens? Only one megaspore is functional. You can see here, one megaspore. Okay, functional megaspore. Okay children, now we need growth, means doubling, and for growth which division will occur? Mitosis. Remember, We here read about meiosis, here the formation of gametes or say megaspores, and here we need growth, so mitosis. Mitosis give rise to 1 2 into 2. Okay, again mitosis, 2 into 4. Again mitosis, can you see all of you, the doubling is occurring, so 4 into 8. And this is the final formation of an embryo sac. Now these all of the cells will localize themselves or reposition themselves under common cytoplasm. And how will they locate themselves? Let's see. If you see here, 3 comes on the Cell cell end. This is a Cell cell end, as we discussed here. This is the Cell cell end. So in the Cell cell end, 3 cells localize themselves, whereas 2 cells comes at one common cytoplasm, and 3 other will localize themselves at the micropilar end. This is the micropilar end. Okay, so what do you call these 3? You call them antipodals. And this one is called as central cell. And over here, वैसे तो these 3 are called as what? You call them egg apparatus. All these 3 are called as egg apparatus, out of which the center one is called as egg cell. And what is an egg cell? Remember, it is the female gamete. And these 2 are synergids. These 2 are synergids. And this is what? This is a mature embryo sac. And one thing interesting to be known about it, that this condition is what? 7-celled, 8 nucleated condition. Now let's see how it is. 7 cell, if you see, how many cells are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 7 cell condition, whereas nuclei are 8. How it is? 1 2 3 4 5 4 5 6 7 8. So 8 nucleated condition. This is the development of a embryo sac. Or what is the name of the embryo sac? You also call it what? Megaspore. And megaspore comprise of what? One female gamete. If you see our children, so you can see the comparative study of microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis. What is it? If you see here, this is radial. This is radial or say spherical in shape, whereas this is linear. This is the basic difference or comparative comparison between both of them. Secondly, it comprises of only meiosis. You can see microsporogenesis comprises of only meiosis, whereas megasporogenesis comprises of meiosis as well as mitosis. Okay, children. And over here, the pollen grain is formed. Pollen grain comprises of 2 male gametes. How it is formed? Let's see. Our pollen grain structure, if we see, it is like this. There is one inner layer and an outer layer which is spikes in shape like this. Okay, so if you label it up, this is exine and this is intine. Exine has got a characteristic feature that it comprises or it is made up of one chemical compound, a very resistant compound, that is sporopolanin. Sporopolanin. And this sporopolanin is very highly resistant to very high temperature, strong acid, strong alkali, which helps a pollen grain to be preserved as a fossil. Okay, up this section doesn't comprise of sporopolanin at all. This is called as germ pore. Okay, up inside the pollen grain there are 2 cells. One bigger size cell which is dense in cytoplasm and multinucleated, whereas other one small spindle shaped cell, that is generative cell. This is what? Vegetative cell, and this is generative cell. Okay, so always remember, children, these cells further takes part and develops into more typical structure, that is that Vegetative cell remains the same, whereas generative cell divides into two parts. Now what is this? This is a young pollen grain and this is a mature pollen grain. Now what happens here? If you can see here, this is 2 cell stage and this is 3 cell stage. Okay, what is the function of vegetative cell? One thing you should know, vegetative cell helps in the nourishment of the growing generative cell into 2 male gametes. Remember, there is one more comparative study. If you can see here, that embryo's egg comprise of only one egg cell or only one female gamete, whereas the pollen grain comprise of 2 male gametes. This is a very important characteristic feature. So you all got it. This is how the comparative study of whole process takes place. This is microsporogenesis and this is megasporogenesis.